Where are you, chat? There, chat B. Wonderful. We'll give it a couple of minutes just as people start rolling in. But again, I am Dead Pulse. Man After Midnight. We are doing a VOD review of none other than yours truly, doing my own VOD review. So, let me tell you a little bit about growing up as a duckling here, Final Fantasy Randomizer. What I would do is I would run races, then I would go back and either watch my race with, side by side against someone who beat me, or I would just watch my own race, give my own VOD review, and then figure out a couple of places that I could improve. And when I say used to, I mean I still do. So that's a real thing. This is absolutely a tool that you can do, and you should. For example, this race is the floaterless race that was on Monday. I ended up winning that race. The next person came in at about the 5 minutes after I did. But as we go through here, we're going to try to find where I could have shaved off 2, maybe even 3 minutes off my time, and then go forward from there. So buckle in, and anything that you see that I miss, you absolutely throw it in chat, because after watching a couple of these, I've done a few on my channel, and this will be the third one on this channel. You yourselves should be able to catch some things that I could do to improve. I'm going to be running this at 1.5x speed, and we're going to take a look at the blurstings. Remember, this is for floaterless. And we're going to mute that. Absolutely. So we got the Wood Evade, Black Belt had Heal Magic, White Mage had Elemental Magic. Now that's one thing that screams take a White Mage, having Elemental Magic. You're going to get, at least a level 2, maybe even a level 3 spells, and it's going to fill your level 8. So absolutely acceptable. All right, so that was the blurses. I think we still have a little bit before the race actually starts, so let's fast forward it a little bit. All right, should be kicking off shortly. I also have my my little time in battle, time in menus, and time in shop. If more people run that, you can compare it against them, or you can compare it against yourself. I love this this little tool, and it shows me if I'm spending too much time in menus and shops, and that's a very, important thing to understand. You can lose a lot of time shopping. Okay. So we're going in. Let's see. So we buy Invis 2 and exit. All right. That's fair. Ice 2 and Brack. And Princess has the ship. All right. So then we do kind of our standard opening. Now we buy the Wood Shield because the Thief has the Wood Adept, but we don't equip it because we don't really care. We got out of Canaria, all right, time. I would have liked to see a couple of seconds before that. And perfect. So we checked those boxes specifically because exit was there. And then using exit is awesome. That was a reasonable spell choice right there. I probably could have gotten away with just using Brack just to make sure that, pretty high chance for the kill. All right, so we got the ship and the canal. Those are two things, but in floaterless, we're definitely looking for the canoe. That's something we need to seek out. All right, so getting out of here at, the 153 is really good. The hard reset there is going to show kind of what the first encounter on the sea is. So a big thing with floaterless is you need to not take encounters in the overworld. So every time I take an encounter in the overworld, I'm going to slap my hand a little bit, because that should never happen on this, unless, especially with this where there's a very long run at the beginning. All right, hesitated a little in that shop. There was only 2 items. Probably could have taken that a little bit. And a little too long reading that. You're looking for keywords there, and then to try to remember those. All right, so I love the exit here because we know the next place that we're going is going to be to turn in that herb. So we don't need magic spells. All right, and we find the slab. We dance around for a little bit. So one thing that I don't like here is really checking these spells. I know we don't have too much of a kill spell with any of the characters, but we don't have a lot of gold, and we already have the slab, so we know that in our future is going to be the superstore. So the hope is that we can find the tail and then only have to go to the superstore to get all of our magic. This, however, does give the hint giver for the canoe, so that's pretty good. And then, yep, we find the rest of the wood armor. Good on us. And so now that we have it all, might as well equip it and exit out. Perfect. So now what's open to us is... Well, that's a great question. What the heck is open to us? All right, go down and get the hint. Okay, perfect. We did take a couple of steps there. We didn't need to. So I think the only thing open in this flag set, yeah, either the Sages or Bahamut's Horde. So now here's a lot of the stuff with Floaterless is going to be what direction you go in and how many places you have to double dip. This was a no-win situation because either you're going to have to double dip the area down there, because if that wasn't, it's not going to be the canoe straight up. So you're going to have to come back to the Crescent Lake area to then go to Ice and Volcano. Okay, now here's where a mistake was made. Played too much of the winter tournament, thought that I had the canoe, so I was going to go turn in the crystal down here. So a couple of missed, but, you know, we figure that out. And then we take the shortest route at that point to Crescent Lake. I don't know why I always button press down while I'm doing that. I don't need to. It wastes time. What I should have done there is talk to the hint giver beforehand, because that was already in the path, so I had to take another extra step. But we're out of here, and I took an overworld encounter. I should have known that I wouldn't have made it the entire way. All right, so now we have to waste the time to go back and res our character because we don't have life. Why would we? But at least there's an exit use and a save here, so it only wasted about 15 seconds. Although it was on the way, we're turning in the crystal. All right, I don't mind grabbing these chests. It could have been something good, and it doesn't take that much time. We're still looking for money, so that's fine. More fetch questing. Life is overrated. I don't even remember where life was in this, but I'd just like to take a note. It has been 9 minutes in. My time in menu is 33 seconds. My time in battle is 38 seconds, and that includes, you know, the 15 times I have gone into the menu to save. So when you're looking at flag sets like this and you're looking for places to improve, absolutely look at your time in menu, time in shops, like after every, you know, major point. So we got the canoe. Where does Dead Pulse go? We don't know. Absolutely ordeals. I'm pretty sure I absolutely get lost here. So with no warp, this was kind of a risky-ish play. We do have exit, so that's nice. But as you can see, I've been in this maze for an hour, essentially. My time in battle is going to go way up. Now, these zombies, you can make the argument that I could probably take them on. I do have harm 3. I do have fire 3. Well, both of my white mage, but you know, at this point, it's not worth the battle. I'm going to be taking much better battles later on. So for equipping armor, basically the rule is weapons and armor is that there's 3 classifications of weapons and armor. Your base ones, your mid tier, and your end game. Whenever you get an end game armor, so for the fighter, let's say the fighter is promoted, and if you don't have the flame armor, the ice armor, the opal armor, or the dragon armor, or even the opal bracelets, you could use on the fighter. You absolutely equip that at that moment. Ribbons, you always equip right away. You know, the same thing for a katana and an excal. But there's that mid tier where you're like, you know, I got an iron shield +4, or, you know, I got something like this. I can wait until I get another item. I can wait until I can, you know, instead of double dipping my my weapon and armor, if you will. Or if you're headed into like a boss and you haven't equipped stuff in a while, but you have stuff, like that's a very good option for that. I'm pretty sure I went to Ordeals specifically because I knew the mass immune was there. Now here, I don't consider this a mistake because I've got the mass immune. I want to take a fight or two, and the best fights are going to be right here in the desert. 100%, absolutely. I've found a Tyro, you know, some steak and wings, some T-Rexes, sandworms. We do not have a lot of key items. And we find the opal should have exited out right there. All right. So now we're going here without promoting. So I don't think that we should check spells because we don't have the money and we don't have the promotion. But we are checking a couple of spells. So now this is going to be important. Temper is level 5 and it is locked by promotion. So in the 3rd slot, Temper is locked. So you've got 2 options after you promote. You got to come back either here or you can go to you know, where level 5 the shop is in Melmond and grab it. Keep that in mind for about 20 minutes from now. Okay, so I wasn't really sure on this because the 2 options that I had, or I should say that this Dead Pulse had, would be to go to Ice Cave and Volcano, or go to Waterfall and get the shop item, which I know is in either the Oasis or in Sea Shrine on rack. So it's kind of a 2 for 2 here, but the difference is if I find the Oxyl here, I kind of have to dive Sea Shrine, but I don't want to because my armor is butts. Like, I don't think, even with the mass immune, I have got a decent chance of surviving. So I don't like this. I think we could have better taken on Volcano and Ice Cave. But it was still kind of a 50-50 play at this point. Okay, so at this point, there's going to be some fight taking here, and I don't mind this so much. The intent of this is not only to get levels, but to get money for the shop item. We don't know how much the shop item is, but we know about how much it's going to be. Somewhere between 5,000 and 50,000. Not only that, but your goal pre-promotion is to get to level 14, so that literally right after you promote, you can get up to level 15 and call it good. Now, it turns out the Zombie D's had Blizzard. This would have been good information to know before this fight. I didn't know that. However, we're level 14, and we're absolutely exiting out. Now, at this point, we are 18 minutes in. I have spent 1 minute and 22 seconds in menus. All right. So we tented there. We easily could have housed there. So we got to make sure not to forget to house. But at this point now, I believe it the only option that we have. Oh, no. We overshot. So one thing that's important in the floaterless flag set is to understand where the heck you are at all times. Don't get lost. It's easy to get lost in the vast, the vast expanse of the ocean. There's been several movies about it. Okay, let's see how the ice cave dive goes. I don't think we had warp. So another thing that I'm always looking for is how are my transitions? So after I run from this fight, I'm already pushing down. We're good to go. I want to watch for hesitations and see if there's any map that I don't feel comfortable with, and I got to work on those transitions. All right, so I believe it is an any in here. Oh, perfect. So the first, so that's one chest that people usually skip. Is going to be that one when it's a random incentive location inside of ice. So that was really fortunate we didn't have to run through everything. Yeah, don't be afraid to use select B. Well, before when I was coming up, the map took a long time to load. so it was really dangerous to use. All right, so another thing with here, I believe it was a random incentive. Peeds, always take peeds. Delicious. They're called EXPeeds for a reason. All right. Perfect. So in a flag set where you have a random in volcano, there is a high probability that it's going to be in armory right here. Now, one thing that I like that this Dead Pulse did is not check the trap tile, because not only would that have taken precious battle time, but it would have only yielded one chest. So that chest would have taken about 7 seconds. And without better trap treasure on, it is just not worth it. I wasn't going to see what that spike tile was. Don't care. Not going to take it. Yeah, Odrin, it used to draw on the map, or like it would make that weird noise and then it would like come down very slowly. It was terrible. Then again, this was before Speedboat, so there was not a lot of floaterless to be had. Okay, so unfortunately, I think the plan here was to try to get levels and get heal 3, or some sort of heal, so that I didn't have to spend so much time in the menu. Now I'm going to back it up just a hair here. Let's go back to here and take a look at my time in menu. 139. Once I get to here, I need to heal potion. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, or 21. And that took about, 16 seconds. That's a lot of time. Like, that seems like forever. Whereas if I had heal, even just heal, and 7 charges of it and toast through those, it would have cut down the time in half. So this is where white mages can shine, is if you can get them heal 2, heal 3. Especially going through a volcano, you can save a lot of time over someone who has to heal potion. And then we got to res our poor mage. And buying stuff, and I think, yeah, we're going up to the magic. I don't specifically like going up to this level of magic, because at this point, whenever we promote, we're probably going to need more magic. Plus, we still need to grab temper from level 5. So either we're going back to the superstore in Lefane, you know, or we should wait until we promote and get magic there, just save a little bit of time. Now, one thing to also note, you might have missed it, but we're running pretty low on save items for the amount of times, and you can definitely tell taking this overworld encounter because I didn't have save items cost me a ridiculous amount of time in the grand scheme of things. Another 5 seconds down the drain. When we finally get the tail, exit out, save, we're down to 12 save items, and we're nowhere near any shops that sell. There's 11. Taking another overworld encounter. Now, ideally in these flag sets, my general rule is Earth should almost always be last. If there isn't an incentive in it, you get through it so much faster if your characters are, you know, above level 20, because things will start to run from you. You get a morale break, so it's less dangerous to go here, especially when you have jerk birds or Danny rolls a seed. So the arachnids, you know, ambush and have ice 3 or nuke or something like that. All right, so the first thing that you should notice is that the specters have squint, and that's terrifying. Even though that ended up having the Aegis shield +5, that chest was not worth it. You want to get off this floor ASAP. You do not want those specters squinting your party. Yeah, stone gargoyles, absolutely. All right, so one thing, that's the second time that I've seen either the third or the fourth character fail at running. And when I say that, I mean instead of pressing the over and run button, it goes to the attack button. So there's kind of a distance there in all of my button pressings. Now, I don't expect everyone to be perfect on that every time, but this is what I do when I watch myself. I go, okay, I definitely need to work on both the third and the fourth character and they're running. Trolls also. This Earth Cave was absolute butts. But we don't need the thief. We don't care. All right, we are down to 9 save items. And because of that, take another fight. That's 3 shadow fights over here. Ridiculous. Here's a 4th encounter that we took on the overworld. So that's 25 seconds right there. Reading that we were already here and checked those, that's another couple of seconds. So even now, we're 30 minutes in, and I've already pretty much seen about a minute and a half worth of improvements. All right, so we're probably going to go here and grab, yeah, we got to go res our character, and then we're probably going to go grab the, oh, yeah, save items. Loading up on save items. Perfect. That's what we want. Now, this is a little bit loot goblin-y. Because really, based on the gear and the fact that we have a mass immune, besides an extra ribbon, there's nothing that we're looking for. There's only 2 ribbons in the pool. So, I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I would have liked to seen not to grab those chests. So we do get the Oxyl out of this. We wisely use the Quad X. I probably should have done a weight attack weight Quad X just so that I knew that the two characters that could have attacked would have gotten a kill on Astos, and I wouldn't have had to waste the time watching, you know, harm for not kill Astos. And now we go back to the double dips. We're back here to promote, and this is absolutely what we have to do. So now, time in menu, we were at 2 minutes, 20 seconds. So we have several things that we have to switch around. And there we go. So that only took about 17 seconds to equip a moderate amount of things. But there was still, you know, that was moving around probably 7, 8 things. So then checking this magic, again, I think that the option is going to be to go over to Lefane to the Superstore. So checking those magic seems like a time waste. Now, Sea Shrine was also a random incentive location. So there's really two options to do this one. What I should have done here is actually checked the right chest on the first level, because it doesn't take that long, and if it's there, you don't want to have to go back and grab that side of it, just because it's a little bit out of the way for running up to Mermaid's side. But, you know, that's a style choice. I'm not going to hold it against you if you don't. All right, hesitation there. But we do end up choosing correctly. And this is all me. I love to check all 3 of these chests, so even when I don't get anything. So we would have ended up taking that encounter anyways, so I guess it didn't add too much time, but it still added about 3 seconds that we could have shaved off. Now let's see if we do the correct path here or if we miss a step. Yeah, taking that sea troll, also not a great idea. Sea trolls don't provide enough experience to justify it. Just like these lobsters, like I could have gone through with Lit 3 and absolutely destroyed them, but nah. All right, got lucky on the fast there. I would have liked to see casting Lit 3 on both your White Mage and your Black Mage instead. I think that would have given you a better average Kraken kill than doing fast, where you only had a 50% chance that fast was going to go off before the fighter swung. Oh yeah, it took me a long time to get rid of my loot goblin tendencies, and even now I still have, these are the chests that I check. Okay, so all the time that we spent going to get magic in other places after we knew we were going to have to come back here is now considered a waste. That was approximately 30 seconds. And of course, heal 3 was at level 5, so it would have been nice to see that before doing Volcano. Now, buying the spells for the ninja, buying Saber and Fast, I can get behind, maybe even Quad X. But the rest of the spells, I'm not going to cast those spells. It's a waste of time. And, like I said before, in Providence, I didn't grab Temper. I absolutely forgot that level 5 had Temper and that I needed to grab it. I'm sure that won't bite me in the ass coming up. Steal everything that isn't nailed down. That's the proper way to play games, I'll tell you what. So there was another overworld encounter there, but I'm going to call that a planned overworld encounter. Again, in the desert area. Very good experience on those fights. Might as well take it. Now, this fight is kind of a 50-50. Those Saber Tees can roll up, and the Medusas can be jerks. If I cast Fade instead and was able to kill them, it would have been better. That was probably about a 5-second time loss. The experience wasn't terrible, but there's better fights later on. Okay, this Frosty, no. The experience 1300, that's nice, but not nice enough to take. And then bad men are just annoying. There's another instance where my white mage failed the run. And we're going to get this incentive because we know that it is the ribbon. Now, ideally... Oh, that's the other thing. So we did find a ribbon in right away when we were in the Bahamut Trove. So the loot goblining makes me even more nervous because I knew that there was only one ribbon in the incentive pool. I had a mass immune. I don't know what I don't know what I'm looking for here. What could I possibly find that could make my run better? Like, I had no reason to check those chests. No, not one bit. Now, Warmech is patrolling, and that's something that you can take one of three stances. A, you can seek Warmech out. B, you can ignore Warmech. Or C, the answer that I chose, if I ran into Warmech, I would take it. So we're doing a double fast, and Warmech falls pretty quickly, and we get up to our level 24, which is our goal level for these. Get up to level 24 when we have a mass immune for the fighter. Yeah, I mean, even with the dragon armor, I wouldn't move the ribbon. I would absolutely keep it on the fighter. That's my bread and butter damage. Meat and potatoes. That's what I call my fighter. Now, I'm already level 24. I don't need any more levels. I should have been done. But the menuing there was pretty nice. We cast Fade, which literally minimum rolled. So we should do that and fast one more time. Of course, fast doesn't go off. But Nest took care of everything. Okay, perfect. So at this point, we're at 3 minutes in menus. We have just over 10 minutes in battle, and our time in shop is under 3 minutes. The time in battle should have absolutely been under 10 minutes for this, considering that I wasn't supposed to be taking any overworld encounters outside of the 2 that were in the desert. All right, Temple of Fiends. I love a good Temple of Fiends. Getting through here relatively quickly gives you the option when you're racing to be a minute behind. And if your Temple of Fiends is a minute quicker than your opponents, you get a lot more room for error. Oh no, more zombie Ds. I know well enough to be terrified of them, I'll tell you what. All right, so at the point when you're getting to Lich, it should be about a minute after you enter Temple of Fiends. You know, minute 10, minute 20, somewhere around there. All right, so yeah, with this scaling, once you have a level 24 fighter with the mass immune, the first couple of bosses are pretty academic. So for all of my looting, for all of my gaining those, one extra level by taking a fight or two extra, my fighter has killed Lich in one hit and would have done so, being 6 levels smaller. Now, Carrie was a little bit more tanky, but, we didn't dispatch Carrie. The Quad Axe I like, the weight on the White Mage I also like. I think the White Mage cast Harm 4 should have cast Fade instead. Fade's just going to do more damage. Just hands down. Oh, these fights were kind of scary. Didn't know Waters had crack. There's a good reason to have a couple of... Now, I would have actually... Fade's all right. I could have also made the argument to go for Lit 3 here. Fade would have done more damage, but if I'm worried about spell charges, Like if you have any flag sets with unrunnables, oh, absolutely. Like you want to save your fade charges for when you absolutely need them. And that Tiamat was not very thick, but the first thing we do is res up perfect. That thief is how we run. So we absolutely want that up. And we do a little heal, and we don't even bother moving anybody. So we're going to do a little disrespect. So now we're going to cast a Saber. We're going to test swing, 5 hits for 413. We know that Chaos is going to be pretty easily damaged and hit. So now we just move to a full damage strategy. I think that's more than acceptable. Now, one thing that you'll notice is I don't have temper. I didn't get fast cast on Toby before I was stopped. So the Black Mage should have absolutely cast fast on Toby, or should have been casting tempers on Nest. What happened instead is I got nuked. And now I've got, 2 characters. So that was a lot closer than it really had to be. But yeah, so that was kind of, you'll notice, like, I didn't waste any time on Invis 2 casts. I just said, you know what, the scaling is good. I've got really good health, armor. I've got 2 ribbons, a pocket full of dreams, ready to rock through Temple of Fiends. So that Temple of Fiends was, less than 6 minutes. It was almost less than 5. So that was a very good run through. But you'll notice, finished at about the 49-minute mark. Based on all the things that I said about the 5 battles in the overworld that I didn't have to take, checking magic shops in a couple of places, the 6 times that either my white mage or my black mage, and I think there was 1 time on my thief that I didn't properly execute a run command. Instead, I went for the attack, the punchy attack. I believe there was about 3 minutes of time loss in there. So that's the thing. The reason that I wanted to do a review on this one, instead of a duckling, was to show you that, yeah, I won the match, but there's still a ton of room for me to improve. And that's what you have to do. You have to keep looking for things to improve, even when you're successful. Especially when you're successful. The biggest problem that people can encounter is that they get complacent. And then the next thing you know, all the ducklings are passing them and they don't know why. Well, I'll tell you why. You got complacent. So try to get better. Keep looking at things that you can do better, even if it's just, tiny changes that you can make. Just keep working at it, because, someday you'll be winning tournaments and you'll go, great, I've made it. Well, no, you haven't. You can keep getting better. Boom, roasted. But anywho, that's what I got. So that was, it was a nice run. Like, I'm not going to lie. This runner has a lot of potential here. Just a couple of changes that they could make to really up their game. But as you're watching through this, or for your next time you do a race, if you're not going to request a VOD review, that's fine. But watch it through yourself. Even if you're not broadcast, just do a local recording or watch your Twitch stream and watch it at 2x speed and just look at how you're doing things, and then come at it from an outside perspective of, all right, what can I improve here? And then just kind of work through those things, and the next thing you know, your times will improve and you'll be enjoying it. Sweet. Anywho, that's it. Rather short broadcast for tonight, but I think it made a lot of valuable points. I've got 2 more VOD reviews that I'll be doing on my channel in the next couple of days. I've got some family events going on this weekend, so I won't have too much time. But we will see when we can do those. Always, if you want me to showcase a VOD review or do one of you, all you have to do is either post in the VOD Reviews channel on the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord, or you can just message me with a clip of the video, and I will absolutely do a VOD review for you. I'm not going to be as anal as I was for my own, because I had to be. It's going to basically pick out, the top 3 things that you can do to improve your times. And that's it. Any questions? Come talk on the Discord. We'll have some fun. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I am Den Pulse, the man after midnight.